All right, geometry students, welcome here. So today I am out, so I'm getting this lesson to you through a video. What we're going to be looking at is we're wrapping up topic 5, chapter 5, is we're going to go back to using compasses and finding the 4 different triangle centers that we did before Christmas break. So this is just a review. Notes on how to go about finding those. So I'll show you an example of finding each one just in case you forgot. If you remember how to do this, use this video how you need to be able to help you as a refresh to find these triangle centers. So I'll go over all 4 of them with you, and then the assignment will follow in this packet where you're going to complete some on your own. All right, so first let's talk about the incenter of the triangle. So what the incenter of the triangle is, this is where your 3 angle bisectors are going to come together and meet. And because it's the incenter, that means when we get done and find it, we should be able to draw a circle that fits perfectly inside of the triangle. All right, so let's go through the process. We'll take a look at these steps on how we go about doing this. So we're going to take our compass. Let's go to this angle on the left. We're going to put the point of our compass on the vertex of that angle, and we're going to manipulate our compass so it's somewhere less than halfway across that side of the triangle. Okay, so that's where we want it. And then once we do that, we're going to make 2 marks. Okay, one across each side of the angle. Okay, just like that. And then after we're done with that, we can leave our compass setting the same. And we're going to move the point of our compass to one of those marks. All right, and I should note, as I go through this video, I'm going to go a little faster than when I was teaching this because this is a review, a refresh. You can always pause it if you need to, go back to it, look at it on Google Classroom so that you can figure out these steps. All right, so I have my compass there. I didn't change it. I put the point there on one of those marks. And now I'm going to make a mark out here in the middle. All right, leave my compass the same. I'm going to move it to the second mark I made. I'm going to make another mark in the middle so that they cross. I want that curvy X out there in my triangle. Once I have that, then I'm going to go and I'm ready to draw my angle bisector. So you want to use a straight edge, and we're going to sketch our angle bisector. Okay, so I'm going to start here at the angle we were working with, and there would be our first angle bisector of that left angle. All right, now we just got to repeat that process 2 more times for the other 2 angles. We'll find where they meet up at, and that will give us our incenter of the triangle. All right, so we'll just quickly get this done here. So I'm starting on that angle on the right, doing those same exact steps. Okay, so I got my 2 marks. Now I need to make that curvy X out here in the middle. Okay. All right, so there's my curvy X out in the middle, marking where my angle bisector is going to go. So now for this angle on the right, I'm going to draw my second angle bisector. That's going to put it about right there. And then we'll just focus on getting this angle done up at the very top of our triangle. My compass setting, I'm leaving this the same the whole time. I don't have to change it. Okay, so I got my 2 marks across each side. All right, and then just keep track of your marks. They're going to kind of blend together out here in the middle. So just watch which one is which. Okay, like that one blended quite a bit, but I do have that last one done. And we'll get this compass out of the way. Sketch our last angle bisector, and it's going to be somewhere right in there. Okay, and they should meet pretty close to in the same spot. Notice how I do have a little gap there in the middle. All right, that's fine. You can have a little gap in the middle. So now I'm going to draw my incenter, which is going to be about right there. And I'm ready to use my compass to see if that is actually the true incenter. So I'm going to take the point of my compass. I'm going to put it on my incenter. I'm going to change the size of the compass, resize it so it just goes to one of the sides of the triangle. Okay, so I have it resized like that. And now I'm just going to sketch my circle, and that would be where the in-center is. It doesn't fit exactly inside of the triangle, but it's pretty close, so that's going to work for our in-center. Okay, so there's our first triangle center. We got 3 more to do, so let's take a look at our next one. Now we're going to find the circumcenter, and the circumcenter is found by where our 3 perpendicular bisectors meet. All right, so to find this, we're going to use the fish design. So we'll kind of go through the steps of doing that. We're going to find the perpendicular bisector for each side of the triangle, and it's called the circumcenter because we should be able to fit a circle, or should be able to fit the triangle perfectly inside of a circle when we get this done. All right, so let's start with this angle at the left. So we're going to take our compass, put it on this angle on the left. All right, then I'm going to resize this compass, and this is where you want it just a little bit more than halfway. Okay, so make sure your compass is just a little bit past halfway along that side of the triangle. And once you have it just a little more than halfway, now we're going to make an approximate half circle, about half of it being inside of the triangle, half of it being outside. Okay, so I got that one done, my first marking. Leave your compass the same. Let's go up to this angle up on top. Okay, so I want the point of my compass on that angle on top, and I'm going to make that same design I just got done making. I want them to cross each other twice, giving us that fish design. All right, once you have that fish design, you can get your compass out of the way, and you're ready to make your perpendicular bisector. You're going to draw a straight line that's going to go through both points of your fish. All right, so we'll take care of that here. So we're going to run our perpendicular bisector, this segment through that fish. Okay. All right, readjust mine just a little bit. Okay, so that's fairly close. So there would be our first perpendicular bisector. Notice what it's doing. It is making a 90-degree angle with that side, and it's also splitting that side in half. Okay, so that's what that perpendicular bisector does. It doesn't necessarily go through an angle, all right? Sometimes it will, sometimes it doesn't, all right? This one didn't go through that angle, but it is going to be making that 90-degree angle with the side and splitting that side in half. All right, so now let's do that 2 more times. So we'll take our compass, let's go to this angle on the right. Okay, we'll make this fish design across this right side. I don't need to readjust this compass since this triangle is isosceles. It's going to work out okay. All right, so there's my first approximate half circle. Go up to this angle up on top. Draw my next one. So there's my fish design across that right side. And we'll get this compass out of the way. We'll put in our second perpendicular bisector. Okay, and then let me readjust it here a bit. Okay, there we go. There's the second one. Notice how it's doing that same thing. It's making that 90-degree angle with the right side, splitting that side in half. Now we're just going to take care of the bottom side of our triangle. So I'll go to this angle on the right, position my compass there, and I'm going to resize it just a little bit so it's just past halfway. Okay, so somewhere right there. And I'm going to make this fish design on the bottom. Ooh, this one's going to be close. Okay, so that's a very narrow fish on that bottom, but it did work. As long as those two half circles overlap each other, that's what we want. So we can get our last perpendicular bisector drawn. Okay, so it's going to be somewhere right in there. We want all three of them to meet in one location. They pretty much are. So that's going to be where our circumcenter is going to be, is approximately right there. And if it is the true circumcenter, we should be able to fit that triangle inside of a circle from that point. So let's test it. We'll take our compass, put it on the circumcenter. All right, then we need to go to one of the angles of our triangle, and we want to adjust the compass so it just falls outside of one of the angles. And if we have that, let's go ahead and see if this circumcenter is going to turn out. Okay, there we go. It looks like it worked pretty good. That triangle mostly fits just inside of that circle. A little bit of gaps here and there, but that's going to happen. But as long as it mostly fits in there, that's what we want. Okay, so there's our second triangle center. A review on that one, the circumcenter. So let's take a look at our third one. We're going to find the centroid, and the centroid is where our three medians are going to meet. Okay, so what a median is, it is a segment that starts at the angle of a triangle and it goes to the middle of the opposite side. All right, so we'll take a look at one when we sketch it. The good news is it's going to use the same fish design that we just got done using for the circumcenter. So that would be our first step. So let's go to our angle on the left. All right, I'm going to put the point of my compass on that left vertex, manipulate my compass, resize it so it's just past halfway on that left side of the triangle. Bake your fish design just like we got done doing on the last triangle. Okay, so there's my one part of the fish. Go up here to the top. There's my second part of the fish. All right, and then once I have the fish design, to get a median, you need to find the middle of your fish. Okay, so I'm going to put a point on mid-fish, middle of the fish, which if you need a ruler or a straight edge to line it up with where your 2 points of your fish are, there and there, you can do that to find the middle of the fish, but usually you can just eyeball it. Okay, so there would be like where the middle of the fish is. So now I'm ready to sketch my median. Okay, so my median is going to start from the angle on the right. Okay, so it's going to start at this right angle, and it's going to go to the middle of the fish. All right, because where that middle of the fish is marks the midpoint of the left side of the triangle. So that's what a median does. It goes from an angle to the middle of the opposite side. Okay, so we got our first median completed. Let's find where our second and third ones are going to be. So we'll repeat these same steps. So on the right side of the triangle, I'm going to make that fish design. So I'm going to resize the compass and get this fish drawn. Ooh, I don't know if I made that half circle big enough, but we will see. Okay, so it just barely contacted each other, but that's what we want. As long as we got 2 contacts on the first half circle we made so that it does complete that fish. All right, so we got that. We'll get that out of the way. Let's find the middle of our fish, which is right, okay, about right there. And now we'll draw our second median. So our median is going to go from this left angle to that point. Okay, so there's median number 2. They're crossing each other. So now I just want to get my third median so that I can determine if they're all going to meet together in the same location. All right, so I'm on this right angle. I'm resizing my compass to get this fish design on this bottom side. Okay, so there's one of my half circles. Okay, there's the other one. All right, we'll get that out of the way. Find the middle of that fish. Okay, which is approximately right there. All right, and then now I just want to draw my last median going from this angle up on top to that last point I made, and they all pretty much meet up perfectly, so that would be the centroid of my triangle. I don't really have a way to test it. The centroid represents the center of gravity, so you would have to balance the triangle and see if it actually balances from that point. But we can't do that with this one, so we're just going to rely on those three meeting together. All right. And our last one, we have the orthocenter. The orthocenter is found by our three altitudes. Okay, and what an altitude is, it is a segment that starts at an angle, it goes to the opposite side, and is going to make a 90-degree angle with the opposite side. All right, and with finding the orthocenter, we did this on some of our triangles before break. If one of the angles in our triangle is fairly close to 90 degrees or larger, like that one there on the left, to help us get our altitudes, we're going to extend the sides of those that triangle where that large angle is. Okay, so that's what I want to do first, is I'm going to extend that the sides of this triangle. So we'll do that. So I'm going to extend that side of the triangle out. And then this other side where that large angle is, this is going to help find our altitudes. I don't know if I need it, but I'm extending the sides of that angle just in case. All right, so now that I got that done, we are ready to find our first altitude. So let's go to this angle on the left. Okay, we're going to put the point of the compass on that left angle. And then what we need to do is manipulate the compass. We want it to just go past the opposite side, because what we're going to do is we're going to make a smile across that opposite side like we did before break. All right, so I want to make a mark, which I end up calling a smile, that's going to cross that opposite side twice. Okay, so sometimes it takes a little bit to get your compass sized correctly to make that work. All right, so now that I got that, we got the smile, and now we're going to make a tongue sticking out of our smile. Okay, so I'm going to take my compass, I'm going to put it on one of my smile marks. Then I'm going to resize my compass so it's just a little bit more than halfway to the second smile mark. Okay, so I got my compass resized on my smile. And then I'm going to make a mark outside of the smile. Keep your compass setting the same. Go to your second smile mark where it crosses that side. And I'm going to make another mark out here. All right, and I want them to cross each other. They kind of cross each other okay. I'm going to go back to this first one so I can get it to cross it a little bit better. Okay, there we go. So I want something like that. So it kind of makes a tongue sticking out of a smile is what I call it. All right, so that's where our first altitude is going to go. So let's sketch our first altitude. All right, so I'm going to go from this angle on the left that I was working with, and I'm going to go through the smile and the tongue, and that's going to be my first altitude of our triangle. So notice what that segment is doing. It is starting at that angle on the left, and it's going to the opposite side, and it's making a 90-degree angle with that opposite side. All right. So now we're just going to end up drawing two more, and we're going to see if we can get them to all meet in the same location. So I'm going to go to this angle on the right. Okay, and then I'm going to start sizing my compass. I need to go just beyond the opposite side, and I want it to go just past that opposite side so that I can make a smile that crosses that opposite side twice. Okay, so that's how mine turned out. I guess it is a good thing I did extend that side down so that my smile would cross. It's almost like I knew I would need to do that, huh? So I got that to work, and now let's go ahead, now that we got the smile, let's start making our tongue. So I'm going to put the point of my compass on one of the smile marks. Okay, I'm going to resize it. So it's just past halfway to the other point where the smile crossed the side. Okay, so there we go, I got that. Now it's time to make the tongue sticking out. So there's part of the tongue. I'm going to go down to the other mark. All right, they didn't quite cross, so I'm going to go back to this first one. Ooh, they're going to be close. The suspense of this is really intense right now. Oh, they just barely contact each other. Oh my gosh, wow. Okay, so that worked. We got it. As long as they intersect, which they do, it kind of made a weird tongue, but they did intersect, we are ready to draw our second altitude. Okay, so we're going to do that now. We'll go from this angle to the right, and we're going to go through the smile and the tongue. There we go. And there would be our second altitude. Notice how it's making that 90-degree angle with that opposite side. Okay, so that's what we want. It's making a 90-degree angle there. All right, so there's altitude number 2. Now we just have to sketch our last altitude. So I'm going to take the point of my compass. I'm going to go to this angle up on top. All right, resize my compass. I need to go to this bottom side, and I want to resize it so it just crosses that bottom side twice. Okay, there we go. There's my smile across that bottom side. Resize my compass to end up making the tongue. Okay, so I got my compass resized just a little bit past halfway to that other smile mark. All right, this time I went a little more than halfway just so I have the confidence that that's going to cross correctly. Okay, so I got that one, and we'll go with this next one here. Okay, this is going to make a really nice tongue. Oh, perfect. Okay, there we go. Look at that. All right, so we got that one. Beautiful. Now we're ready to draw our last altitude. All right, so our altitude is going to start at this angle up on top, come down, go through that very nicely made tongue on the bottom side of our triangle, and all of those altitudes meet at the same location. That's what I want. That's going to mark the orthocenter of our triangle. So I'm going to put a purple point there for our orthocenter. Okay, there we go. There's our orthocenter. We don't have a way to test it, so we just rely on those 3 altitudes meeting together for our orthocenter to be found correctly. Okay, so there's a quick review on finding the 4 different types of triangle centers. The following problems in your packet are the assignment, so you're going to work the rest of those, finding those triangle centers using the information we just got done covering. Hopefully that works for you. If you got questions, I'll be back in class next time and we can talk this over and get it figured out. All right, thank you for watching. Good luck on it.